Hey everyone, today we're sitting here with myself and Jonathan Graunke of INX International. How you doing, Jonathan?
Doing great. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. So we're basically here because we want to talk a few minutes about a couple things. The first thing we want to talk about is the greatest show on earth, and that's Print UV coming up in the beginning of March. Would you agree with it being the greatest show on earth?
Definitely is the greatest show on earth, especially for our printing and in the energy curable market space. It's definitely somewhere where
Cool.
you're going to learn and you're going to network, and you will come away with at least one or two actionable ideas that you could take back, and that in and of itself is a huge value proposition. In addition, the networking aspect of um, being able to be in one place to meet with your industry peers, with your key suppliers and industry experts to help with answering some of those questions that just hang out there and will hopefully help make your business more efficient.
Yeah, you've been going to the show from the beginning.
Yeah, pretty much. I think after year two, so I think starting year two, we've been there every year.
Yeah, and I think it's safe to say year 16 already,
I think so. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I want to repeat what you said. If you walk away from the show with one or two ideas, you were a grand success. I've said it before and I'll say it again. When I bought my UV press, we knew nothing about UV. We went there and just going there and meeting the people and then meeting a couple folks that came over to my shop to help me out. I'm going to say we jumped 1 year ahead of our learning curve, having the people that know what they're doing. Because UV could be, the manufacturers, say it's really easy. It's easy, but it's not that easy. But if you want to get ahead, Print UV is definitely the place. You mentioned information and sharing. Would you agree that it is the best place for sharing? I mean, and again, proprietary stuff people are keeping. So if you're the owner of a company, don't worry that your employees telling us anything they shouldn't. They don't. But all the basic stuff where there are no secrets, people share how things happen.
Yeah.
How about
It's a great learning um, location, right? So it's a great place to sit there and learn and um, get different perspectives, right? So I work for an ink company, right? And so we make inks and coatings, but there's probably five or six other ink companies there, and so you get to talk to all of us, and we'll all, you know, give our different perspectives on things, and that'll help you form a really, um, you'll get a great background, and you're able to make better decisions based on that information.
I would totally agree with that. I mean, listen, let's face it. I've been in situations where I've had my preferred vendors with ink, and in certain cases, you always have to have a backup. No business should be relying on one to begin with. I don't want to insult anybody, that's sponsoring. But going there, I've met other suppliers in different categories that just gave me a little bit more information. They were actually happy to help, and they were happy to pick up my secondary business. Some cases turned into primary business. But wow, and I think if what do we have? There's maybe 18 or 20 suppliers there.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's around that. It's not like going to a trade show where you're walking around to all the booths, right? It's there are tabletops at the exhibit. But it's more of a um, the suppliers. It's an intimate event. That's the word I'm looking for. It's an intimate event that will allow you to have one-on-one interactions with your suppliers, and also in group setting as well. Um, you'll have the ability to ask candid questions and get candid responses to those questions, like you said, without giving away anything proprietary. Uh, it's I'm the technical director for our company, so I'm a technical guy. So you're going to get a technical, candid answer. You're not going to get a sales.
I'll second that just from experience. Um, yeah, listen, I think the best part is when we hang around the bead bar in the lobby because we're at the Wynn, the Encore Wynn.
Yes.
Again, it's always been there. It's always been great. I'll add in that one of the great things about the conference is, aside from the people and the vendors and people that are there, it's a single track event. So it runs for the 2 days, all
Yeah.
day, breakfast supplied, lunch supplied. Uh, our co-founder Steve Metcalf has found a way to keep us all together. for the longest part of the day. And I think after my second year, I didn't want to leave at any moment. I was afraid I would miss something if I left the room,
Yeah.
right? So we stayed around. The other thing this year that makes this year really, really special and important, and is that we're going to honor our other co-founder, Hans Ulland, who unfortunately passed away a few months ago after a courageous battle. And, I've said it before, and everyone says it because he was just the type of guy who just said, make it happen.
Right.
Even though he said make it happen, he was responsible for a good part of making Print UV happen.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. So sorry, I get a little emotional thinking about it. Hans and I became
No,
good buddies.
trust me, I'm trying to keep my my thoughts in line because Hans was a good friend to everybody, right? So
Yes.
yeah, so I'm just going on and on, but basically, if you've been to any of the other 15 previous Print UVs, make it a point to come to this one. Actually, Hans' family will actually be there, his wife, his kids. And I think we really just want to honor him, his spirit, and everything that he did. Print UV will be every 2 years now, right?
Yes. Yeah. The goal is to keep it relevant and keep it interesting, right? And so every 2 years seems to be a great format for that because it allows us to make sure that the content is new and up to date.
So I'm going to give you the biggest single takeaway from going to Print UV, and that is that you get to meet me. No, I'm just kidding. The single, all kidding, and you get to meet Jonathan. No, the
Yeah.
single biggest takeaway is not me; it's everybody else you get to meet. It's the phone numbers you get to leave with. It's the friends you make. It's the people that you get to call throughout the year when you don't get to see them, when you want to say hi, but more importantly, if you have a bit of a situation. The help is priceless. The help is sometimes better than calling a technician from a vendor. And I'm only talking as a machine user, not to take away from the vendors. We need them, and they supply some great information. What's your best takeaway from the conference?
Well, like I said before, for us, it's being able to share some knowledge, and I really, and this is kind of going to be a Hans story a bit, right? So when the conference started, LED UV was something that was just talked about. It was kind of a, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we could do this type of stuff? And it became a reality. And it became a reality because guys like Hans drove it, right? And so he's like, hey, can we do, because he called me. He's like, hey, can we do this? And I was like, yeah, probably not. And then I was like, let me think about it. We worked on it. And next thing I know, we were installing a sheet fed LED, I believe the first one in North America, on like a 1985 Heidelberg at a printer in Louisville, Kentucky. And it was pretty good success. And that was like the alpha test of the whole thing. So when others were saying no, Hans was saying we can. And a good takeaway from Hans and from this conference is like get that. Hey, how do we drive solutions and innovation, and how do we make those things become reality? Okay? And if you remember, even Steve Metcalf had his little this is what's going to happen to LED in 10 years, and he was spot on. The hockey stick, and
Oh,
now
yeah.
it's become the norm. And yeah, it's really
Oh,
quite amazing.
I remember with the LED when they had in all just all the parts sitting there, and it was kind of like a sci-fi movie to some
He was.
degree,
Right,
right?
causes
And
hospitals and it's
and it all and I mean, Steve being Steve and a little nuts as well, but between the two of them, they made it happen. They actually changed the way things went down,
they did.
and it was great. Oh, you know what? I just thought about another thing that I really liked about the show. Um, with all of you guys, the vendors, you guys aren't doing commercials. You guys are up on stage talking and teaching. I remember
Yes.
from the first Print UV I went to, there was one vendor who got up on stage and started doing a commercial about everything that they do and all their products. And I won't mention names, but I will mention that they were never back there again. right? Because that it's supposed to be a friendly show, a learning show.
It's a learning show. Okay, and as I'm pretty passionate about the regulatory side of things, which sounds like the most boring topic on earth for most people.
Yep.
But in today's world, regulatory drives all innovation, right? So the
True.
LED, the LED is a solution to a regulatory problem, right? And also a sustainability problem, right? It solves energy issues, um, eliminating waste. There's so much that happens with that. But there's a lot of regulations coming at us fast and hard. Mostly, and it's chemical in nature. So it's your inks and your fountain solutions and your washes and everything else you have in your building that may exit your building at some point, right? If you're doing solvents, VOCs going up in the air. Um, and so learning about those in such a way that's understandable, and meeting the right people to say, hey, look, I need to talk to somebody that's going to help me guide through this new, whatever the regulation is. PFAS is a great example. Hey, I remember these people are the people that have some resources.
Yeah, for sure. So that being said, if you're the owner of the company, you should be there because you need to learn. But you should also bring your production person. You can bring your chemical engineer person who works all your solutions. You could actually bring everyone in the company because everyone in the company that works UV will learn something new. So I think that's a good one to end it with.
Yeah, I do too. So appreciate
So
the
just
time, Warren, and looking forward to seeing everybody in Las Vegas in March.
Absolutely. So if you made it this far, we thank you. Sign up, come, check out the website. It's still early. You could have a discount till the end of January, and you could probably stack that on with a discount from your vendor who's inviting you. I look
That is
forward to seeing
absolutely,
everybody.
yes.
Sorry?
Every vendor should have a discount promo code that they can give out, and it'll offer you a discount. And plus, there's right now the early bird discount still, so try to take
Right.
advantage.
So you get the double discount if you're smart and you're quick. And don't wait because too many people sign up at the end and go, shit, I should have signed up earlier. I knew I was coming.
Yeah.
Right. Look forward to seeing everybody there. Jonathan, thanks again for joining me for a little update on Print UV. We'll see everybody else when we get there.
All right. Great. Thanks, Warren.